Okay. Okay, I think we are getting this. There's some technical difficulties, but I think we are slowly making it work. Let's see, I see people are starting to come on. All right, well, this is rolling, and it looks like we're being recorded, and I just apologize for any confusion. Google Hangout is definitely, it's a newer technology for me, and I have used this software to lead online courses, to lead the Biz of Kids Yoga online course, but I have never preset it. And so here I went and I preset it, and I do apologize for any technical difficulties. And I was hoping to have a couple ladies join me on the video, which doesn't look like they're able to hop on just yet, but maybe they will. But anyways, this is being recorded. And hi, my name is Jody Commodore, and thank you so much for spending your time with me tonight. It is 5 o'clock in California, so if you're on the East Coast, it's 8 o'clock. If you're in Saudi Arabia, so I got a message from a student of mine who's calling from Saudi Arabia. I think it's 3 o'clock in the morning for her. And so wherever you are in the world, thank you so much for choosing to watch this and to learn about the biz of kids yoga. So this is my gift to you as a kids yoga teacher, because I love, love, love supporting you in having a successful business and a lifestyle that you truly, truly, truly desire. So my the plan for tonight is, the way it's going to go is I'm going to I wanted to share with you about our special guests, Julie and Denise, who said yes to spending time with us. Maybe I'll just talk a little bit about them and tell you a little bit more about myself, and then jump into the Q&A. And we got tons of questions and emails, and lots of flurry of curiosity about how to have a successful business. And then at the very end, I wrote down everybody's name who basically emailed me, and I've got like a ton of them. And so then I'm going to pick a winner or two to join me for the upcoming Biz of Kids Yoga 8-week online course, which starts next Thursday. So let's see. Let me just tell you. So my name is Jody Commodore, and I am the founder of Next Generation Yoga for Kids, and I am actually entering my 18th year in this business. And I started out as a special education teacher in New York City, and I loved teaching in the classroom, and I know that many of us who are in the kids yoga world were classroom teachers, or maybe still are, and sharing yoga with the children in the classroom. And in my 3rd year of teaching in the classroom, I went and I got certified to teach yoga for the special child with Sonia Sumar. And that experience just changed my life, and I decided I was going to leave the classroom, and I was going to leave my job security, and I was going to leave my health insurance, and I was going to leave a steady paycheck, and I was going to take a big leap and jump into what, who knew, was going to be my entrepreneurial endeavor. But I didn't look at it like that. I was just like, I just want to teach kids yoga. So I did leave my classroom job, but I also was getting a master's degree at the same time, and I was doing some part-time work working with kids with special needs. So I started teaching yoga to kids out of my apartment in New York City on the Upper West Side, and get this, I knew nothing about business. I knew nothing about how to market myself. In fact, I felt like I was completely alone doing this work, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I would offer classes, and I would post flyers, and I did what I thought I knew was going to make it work. But actually, what happened was I was probably, I'd offer these kids yoga classes out of my apartment, and nobody would come. So it would be like 4 o'clock, and then it'd be like 4:05 and 4:10, and be like, I'm the only one there. And so that was really painful. And to be honest with you, I actually felt really concerned and worried, and didn't know what to do. I thought, I had like low self-esteem. I was concerned about finances. I thought I was going to have to go back into the classroom, which wouldn't have been such a bad thing, but certainly, I was really, really hoping that I could make teaching kids yoga a career for myself. And so I lost sleep. I was worried. I was really concerned. And I knew that there was a possibility. I knew that there was a way that I could make it work. Like, I just knew it, in my bones, probably the way that what you're up to. And I'll be honest with you, the only thing that I did that made a difference for me was I hired a business coach. And his name was Michael Port, and you should definitely check him out. Michael Port is an amazing, amazing man. He's actually still supporting entrepreneurs now. And he had helped me with business strategy and also marketing. And I learned a lot from working with him. And I got a website. I got, this terrible, dinky little website. But from the website, Macmillan had found me, and they had asked me to write the Complete Idiot's Guide to Yoga with Kids. And basically, things just started to grow, and things started to shift. And just by saying yes to getting support from a coach, things just shifted. It was like I said yes to myself and to my business, and the universe started to take care of things, right? I mean, I was in action. It wasn't like, total law of attraction woo. I mean, I definitely was in action. And so things started to grow. I wrote a book. My classes started to fill. Kids started coming. They started telling their friends, and things were flowing. And let's see, they started growing so much so that I had to actually move from outside of my apartment, and I opened up what at the time was the first kids yoga studio in the entire world. And from opening up the studio, we started offering special events and birthday parties, and started to bring yoga into the school systems. I told you I wrote the book. I got to do some DVDs, some videos. And basically, the more and more I started doing it, people wanted to know, how are you doing this? How do you teach yoga to kids? And so I started to create workshops and teacher trainings. And more, as I started doing this, I started to become known as this go-to person for kids yoga. This is back in 1999, 2000. So like I said, I started this in 1998. I'm almost in my 18th year of business. And it's, like I've done a lot in my 18 years, everything from opening up a studio to products to privates to special events, teacher trainings, all of that. And what brings me to today is that I have this enormous passion for supporting kids yoga teachers like yourself, in helping you to really learn how to work smarter versus harder, right? To really just know the simple skills that you need in order to grow your classes, in order to expand your offerings, to have the business that you really truly can see for yourself, right? If you want to write a book, or if you want to touch lives online, or if you want to open a studio, if you want to bring more kids, more classes to school systems, it's all possible. I had no business experience in my life. I knew nothing. I did not go to business school. So if I could do it, I know that you could do it. And so I'm really grateful to get to support you. It's been my my aha in the last year and a half, where I realized I was like, this is really, something that I am called to be doing right now. And so again, I thank you for saying yes to showing up on this call and for sending over your questions. Let's see, I actually had invited Julie Sullivan and Denise Ursula to join us today. And Julie and Denise are both graduates of the Biz of Kids Yoga 8-week online course, and they're amazing kid yogipreneurs. So Denise is based in the Philadelphia area, and the name of her business is All Kids Yoga and Balance for Life Yoga. So she's a kids and an adult yoga instructor. She's a physical therapist by trade, but she fell in love with yoga and really wanted to take a more proactive approach to wellness, okay? And she has a yoga studio outside of the Philadelphia area, and she loves teaching. She specializes in teaching elementary school and middle-aged kids. Okay, so I definitely recommend that you check out All Kids Yoga, All Kids Yoga, and that's Denise Ursula. And thanks, Denise, for making yourself here, and I'm sorry we couldn't see you live. And Julie Sullivan is an amazing kids yogi-preneur as well. She's in the Boston area, and she is a dance and kids yoga expert. And Julie, what's great about her, the name of her business is Petite Papillon Yoga. And you could find her as well as Denise on Facebook and online through their websites. And let's see, what's amazing about Julie is that she won the Red Tricycle Award for the best kids sports classes. So her program won an award, and she also won an award for being an entrepreneur 40 under 40. So it's, you know, those two ladies, yes, they've got a studio, they've got a program, you know, in place, they've got websites, but I just want to say that women that I've gotten to work with, and men, mostly have been women, but I look forward to working with men, have been all different ranges, fresh out of teacher training, like clueless about what to do, but know that there is something out there that they would like to achieve, to people who have studios, authors, teacher trainers. So I'd really like to keep this in mind as you consider joining our Biz of Kids Yoga community. And so one of the programs that I'm offering is the Biz of Kids Yoga. It's an 8-week online course, and it's really this opportunity to immerse deeply into a supportive community with people like Julie and Denise and other people who are doing the same kind of work that you're doing. Whether, like I said, they're fresh out of teacher training, they have another full-time job, but they really want to make kids yoga, you know, a part-time or even a full-time job for themselves. Maybe they would like to offer workshops or bring more yoga into school systems, or Girl Scouts, or they want to write a book or lead a training, or just they just want to teach more kids yoga classes, but they're curious how to do it. So it's a community of all different levels, right? And the best part about it is the community, because we have this very, very, very active Facebook group where people are constantly on there asking questions, giving support to each other. The 8-week program itself is run online, so it's run through Google Hangout, but unlike this, where you can only see me, you can actually see all 9 of the students in the course. So you can see each other, which is really great. And in the course, we set goals for ourselves, and we have a buddy system so we can hold each other accountable. And then, like I said, we also have the Facebook group, which is very active. And the course really covers everything from having a mindset, right? Having a positive mindset and really owning that you are a kid yogi-preneur. And that's really the foundation. Other things that we go really deep into is marketing, right? So many of you send emails and questions about how to market yourself. How do I get more kids? How do I spread the word? And we go really deep into that. We also spend 2 modules about how to grow beyond just teaching kids yoga classes. So you may decide that you just want to teach kids yoga classes, but you also see something else for yourself, like privates and special events, or maybe you want to create a product, like, you know, making your own eye pillows or selling yoga mats, or maybe you want to do webinars or open a yoga studio or lead retreats or do teacher training. So we go deep into that as well. And then we also have a module about how to network in your community and also to really maximize your maximize and let to be skills at you. And then we have this whole module on finances, which for many is probably the least favorite, but it actually has turned into my favorite, because we really get to look at owning our worth. How much can I charge, right? And not only how much can I charge, but how much do I want to make doing this? And then how do I keep track of all of that? So that's a really powerful module at all for many people. They got totally wowed by that. And then we also have a module on online business. So website, someone asked about a website, which I'm going to happily talk about. Social media, blogging. So all these things are really important because they're also really your marketing vehicle. Okay. So let's see. The Biz of Kids Yoga 8-week online course is an extraordinary program where really I teach you everything that you would need to know regardless of where you are on your path. And like I said, I have all of your names, everyone who has, that's a lot of you up there, who has RSVP'd to me today. I wrote down your names, and I'm going to pick a name or two, depending upon how I'm feeling at the end of this call, to win a spot and to join us and to be a part of this amazing, thriving, supportive community. So definitely stay till the end of this webinar, Google Hangout. And let's see, I also wanted to make sure that you knew that when you do join the Biz of Kids Yoga 8-week online course, whether you win the spot or you choose to actually invest your own resources in it, which is really something that I hope that you will do, because remember, like I said, and actually I put my video blog about this, is like having support, having a mentor, having a coach, having community, people who are also, is really the way to thrive and to grow. So just to kind of plant the seed, that course starts on April 9th. There's 2 time slots. There's a 10 a.m. and a 5 p.m. Those are both Pacific Standard Times, 10 a.m. PST and 5 p.m. PST on Thursdays for 8 weeks. And if you have any questions about the Biz of Kids Yoga, or anything that you would like my support on, please do send me an email at jody@thebizofkidsyoga.com, and it's JODI@thebizofkidsyoga.com. Okay, so as promised, I have committed to spending some time answering your questions, and you guys sent amazing questions, and I thank you so much for taking the time to actually consider what is important to you. And that right there shows that you really care, that what you are doing in the world matters to you. And so I really just want to honor you and celebrate you and acknowledge you for taking this time, again, for whether you're listening to the call or the recording or just that you even sent in your questions. You are a rock star in my experience, and I'm excited to be on this path alongside of you. Okay, so let's see, Rachel sent a email and she asked, what is the #1 thing that I do to conserve my own energy? She says, what is the #1 thing that you do to conserve your own energy? So I took that as personally. Okay, so the #1 thing that I feel is priority as a yogipreneur is self-care. And remember, I told you in the first module of the Biz of Kids Yoga 8-week online course, we spend the time really laying the foundation of our mindset and a self-care practice. Because without these things, life really won't be fun. Okay, so the truth is that life can be hard, right? Like right now, I'm experiencing some stress in my business. I'm transitioning with my assistant. I love her, but it's causing some stress, you know, not my assistant, but just the transition itself. And so, you know, that's not the only thing, but remember I told you when I was the only one who was showing up for my classes, or, you know, financial stresses or rejection stresses. So there's constantly, you know, things that, you know, will show up as we're on this path as stressful. And if we don't have that foundation of self-care, of a regular self-care practice where we're actually proactive versus reactive, right? Where we have something in place every day on a regular basis versus just when we're feeling stressed out. This is critical, okay? So really for me, my self-care practice on a regular basis is my morning routine. So first thing that I do before I do anything, before I talk to anybody, before I check any emails, before I get on Facebook, before I do anything, is I rise, pee, meditate. That's my friend David G calls RPM, rise, pee, meditate. And then I pray, I journal, and I also do some breath work in there, and I drink my hot water, and I also do some reading of some spiritual inspiring reading to start my day, okay? That is like, if I don't do that, I feel naked. So it is essential that I lay my foundation to set myself up for success for the rest of the day. Okay, and then I have some other things that are self-care. I've done some video blogs around this. But really, I just want to encourage you to have that regular self-care practice in your life, a regular yoga practice or walking or exercise or movement, journaling, meditation. I mean, all these things, but building them into your everyday life so that they help you to have that positive mindset for when things do start to get challenging, that you are grounded. And the other thing is that in order to conserve my own energy, I have support. I have people in my life that, yes, my family and my friends, that's my emotional support team. I also have task people. I have people who help me to do things that I'm not necessarily skilled at, right? And then I also have my strategic support people, like my coaches and my mentors, which I'm highly recommending that you have as well. And let's see, so conserving my own energy is vital. And when I feel like I am at that place where my energy is balanced, is feeling imbalanced, that means I really need to make some massive shifts in my lifestyle, okay? So hopefully we don't get to that super imbalanced place, because we're actually, building in this regular self-care practice and support. So I hope that was helpful for you, Rachel. Feel free to follow up if you have any other questions around that. Okay, Mary sent an awesome email. This is great. She says, I just left one of the biggest studios in my state as their kids yoga teacher. She drove the creation and expansion of the program to begin her own dream of starting up a kids only studio here. And she says, I'm starting small, renting a space and setting up camps and workshops. And it's been just 3 weeks. And she wrote, yikes. And then she says, what advice do you have for someone who knows kids and teaching, but nothing about business? Okay, really great. Get support. I cannot tell you this enough. You need to get support on somebody who can guide you with the business strategy, because you are an expert at teaching kids yoga. There is no doubt in my mind that you are a magical kids yoga teacher, and that everybody loves your classes, and that you will be wildly successful with getting kids in there. But I'll tell you what, if you really want to grow, and it sounds like you do because you just left a wonderful opportunity to create your own kids yoga studio, you need to have somebody who can guide you and support you on the way. Okay, there's this amazing book called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And Michael Gerber talks about how many of us, including myself, have this vision about, I want to be, I want to open up my own yoga studio, or I want to, open up my own donut shop, or I want to open up my own restaurant, because we have this vision and this passion for something that we're really good at. But what happens is the entrepreneur, that visionary, right, doesn't necessarily take the time to learn business skills, right? And so they get burnt out because all they're doing is working on their business. Sorry, they're working in their business, right? They're just trying to teach and make all this money, but they don't take the time to learn how to work on their business. So there's a very big difference between working in your business, which is teaching, and working on your business, which is really learning the business strategy and marketing systems. So again, get support. I would highly recommend, Mary. Hopefully you'll win, but if not, register yourself for the Biz of Kids Yoga, okay? It's amazing that there are people out there, there are coaches out there who have a specific niche for exactly what it is that you want to do, whether it's myself or somebody else. Get support. Okay, thanks, Mary, so much, and best of luck to you. All right, Jackie, let's see. Jackie said, I have been teaching kids yoga during the summer at different summer camps, but have not been able to transition it to an ongoing class. How and where is the best place to start a kids yoga class? So my question for you, Jackie, is why have you not been able to transition it to an ongoing class? Have you tried? And if you've tried, what has been some of your roadblocks? Now, my suggestions for you also, because it sounds like you've had success teaching the summer camps, which is great, right? And summer camps are super fun, and I've done them a lot, and I think that they're a wonderful way to really impact a lot of lives in a long amount of time, a week or 2 weeks, however long you're doing it. And they're fun. It's outdoors. It's summertime. Now, here's the thing. You have a captive audience. You have people who are clearly, you said that you've done it several times during the summer, and you have people who are really interested in what you're doing. So hopefully you have their contact information, specifically their email addresses. And something that I would recommend that you do is you reach out to them via an email or even doing a survey, like a survey monkey, and asking them a couple questions like, would you like to participate in an ongoing class? And they might say yes or no, right? Outside of the summer program. If yes, what day of the week works best for you? And then you can say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever days you want. What time works best for you? What location works best for you? So what you're really doing, and this is really good, and we talk about this a lot in the Biz of Kids Yoga 8-week online course, is that our customers are basically, it's our best source of marketing. They will give us the information, and all we need to do is just give them back whatever they want. So they tell us what they're looking for, and sometimes you just need to ask. So it's not okay to just make it up and assume that we think we know, right? But asking them is actually really okay, and they're going to really appreciate it. And of course, you can't make everybody happy, but certainly you can make a lot of people happy, okay? So hopefully that was helpful for you. I wrote some notes here. Let me just see if there's anything else. Yeah, Survey Monkey. And then I said, you know, also location. It could be a specific location depending upon what, you know, area of town you're in. And then also, you know, yoga studio, outdoor space, park, somebody's home. So really just gathering all the information is what I think would be really great for you to take your next step. All right, Jackie, let me know how it goes, girl. Okay, let's see. Boy wrote in, she said, what rates do I set? Okay, here's the thing about setting rates. I'm sure many of you would like to know this because a lot of you guys actually have said this. I live in San Francisco, California. The rates in San Francisco, California are very different from somebody who lives in Oklahoma or Tallahassee or Canada or Saudi Arabia. So it is very hard for me to tell you what rates to set. But what I can tell you is that would be very helpful for you to do some research to see what other people in your area are charging. Because when you could see what other people in your area, in your exact city, and you know, just do some online research, make some phone calls, and again, we go deeper into this in the Biz of Kids Yoga, and it's really a fun assignment. But really to connect and see what are other people charging, because that will tell you what the market will pay. Okay, because I can tell you, I live in San Francisco, and if I told you that you could charge $25 a class, you're probably like, whoa, I live in, you know, Indiana. I can't do that in Indiana. I mean, maybe you can, but most likely no. So, you know, just to kind of give you a short answer to your big question, and again, we go more into this in the 8-week online course for the Biz of Kids Yoga, but I would highly recommend that you do a little research and see what are other people charging, and then you start to compare your apples to apples. Okay, boy, let me know if you have any further questions around that. All right. Joy, in my family time yoga classes, it's mostly moms with their children, which is great, but how do I get more dads to participate? So I love this, Joy, because I actually, many years ago, used to teach a family yoga class just for dads. And it was a Sunday morning class at 10 a.m. and it was like the ideal time, and it was always full, and we had tons of dads. And I'll tell you what, the key to marketing, and we'll talk more about this, a couple of other people had this question, is word of mouth, okay? So the dads would start to talk to each other. So that was really cool. So really, you know, consider maybe even specializing, if that's something that you're passionate about, is sharing family yoga with just dads. You know, maybe even consider doing a family yoga class for dads and their children, right? And that could be, you know, dads, grandparents, uncles, but, you know, maybe you just have that male energy. But if you want to just keep it open and keep it a family yoga class, and it turns out it's just moms and you know, female caregivers, you know, one question that I would invite you to ask yourself is, are you letting people know that it's open to dads? Do the dads know, or do they feel like, oh, that's just the mom's thing, right? Think about your marketing materials. When you look at your descriptions, does it say something like, welcome, classes, welcome. Okay, dads, moms, uncles, aunts are all welcome to participate. Do you have a photo of, a family yoga class with the moms? Or do you have a photo with dads, So just being mindful of like, what are you putting out there? What are people perceiving your classes at? And again, what time of the day are you offering them? Not most, but a lot of dads are probably working. So if you're offering it during the weekday, during working hours, that might be kind of tricky for some dads. So think about maybe doing an evening time class, or even a weekend, a Sunday morning, if that could work for your schedule. Let me know how that goes for you, and I hope that was helpful for you, Joy. Okay, Amy. Amy writes, what's the best rate to charge for a client or an organization that lives farther than 10-mile radius from me? And then do you factor in miles, gas, and driving time? Well, one thing I want to say, Amy, I really appreciate this question, but I just want to say 10 miles is not a far way to be driving. And this made me think about, I do a lot of work with the Africa Yoga Project organization, and I mentor a teacher there, and have been to Kenya and worked with them. And, we drove, and this teacher who I mentor, she drives sometimes almost 2 hours to get to a class and sits in traffic to teach one class. And it just really, it put things into perspective for me. So just really consider, a couple things. Consider like 10 miles. I think you're in the New York area, but 10 miles isn't a huge amount of time where I would start to add on. Now, if somebody contacts you and they're 30 miles or even, 20 to 25 miles or more, I would say, first of all, you really need to check in. Is this a client, an organization that I actually really feel is going to serve me, and I'm going to be able to serve them? Like, is this really something that I want to do? Because, when driving, there's commuting, there's traffic, and there's stuff we could do. And there's also wonderful things we could do while driving, right? Listening to podcasts, or, catching up with a family member on the phone, or listening to a book on tape. So, I mean, there are things that we could do to maximize our time while we're driving. So it's not just sitting in traffic or even doing a meditation while you're driving. Anyways, I do believe that you can and should add on a little extra money to your fee once you go over about, I'd say 20, 15 to 20 miles or so. I'd say even 20 miles or so. It really depends upon where you live. But certainly, you definitely can and should. That time that you're traveling is your time. So if it takes you half an hour to get someplace, that's your travel time. And that's, that, like I said, is worth your time. So I would encourage you never to say to someone that they need to pay you more for travel, but I would just build it into your price and say, this is my fee. If I come to you, it's, $65. If you come to my home studio, then it's $50. So it's, I would just be, but you don't have to make it, weird and say, it's more if I come to you. All right. I hope that was helpful, Amy. All right. Let's see. Okay. Couple marketing questions. What are your best marketing strategies to get a good number of students? Nicole asked, and then I coupled this with Laura, who asked, what have you found to be the best marketing tool to get the word out about your classes? All right. Here's what I want to say. The best way to grow your business is word of mouth. Okay. So what we really want to do is we want to have other people doing our marketing for us. Okay. And how do we do that? Well, we show up as the best kids yoga teacher that we could be. And again, that's very subjective, but we really want to show up as remarkable, okay? And when you think about the definition of remarkable, remarkable means worthy of attention, okay? So we want to be worthy of attention so that people start talking about us, so the parents start talking about us, okay? And there are many things that you can do, but really who you can be in order to be remarkable, okay? To get people talking about you. And so, let's see. How do you show up as being remarkable? Remembering kids' names, spending time talking to the parents before and after they come to your classes, being a good listener, making eye contact, being authentic, being connected, giving value to other people, making phone calls out of nowhere just because that's the right thing to do to help somebody to like fall that much further in love with you. Taking somebody, you know, like we talked about, Jackie was interested in summer camps. You know, maybe she's got somebody in her summer program that she can just meet up for tea and treat them to tea to get a little bit more information. So developing relationships, I have definitely found to be a wonderful way to show up as remarkable. So granted, the kids are who we're teaching, but the parents and the schools and the studios are really our customers. And so developing those relationships really, really, really authentically and taking the time to deepen them will really help to let people know that you care and that you really want to support them in growing their business, right? To improve their kids' attention, right? If it's a parent, or, you know, make their school, the kids focus more, or test scores improve if that's at a school, or to have more kids yoga classes at a studio. So, you know, really just being real and being authentic and being yourself. The other thing that I want to say has been a #1 marketing tool is to be consistent. Okay. So, you know, be consistent with your newsletter, be consistent with showing up. Don't always have subs for yourself. Be consistent with getting there early. Be consistent with reaching out or sending you know, a newsletter. So it's really, this marketing is about deepening your relationships with people. And I'm going to leave it like that because we really do go very deep into it in the Biz of Kids Yoga. All right. Laura also asked, how important is a website? I'm currently functioning with just a Facebook page, and I know I have to bite the bullet and create a website, but then I feel I will need to blog, and I'm not sure I'm ready for this or if this is even necessary. Here's what I want to say to you. Websites are non-negotiable. So I recently was traveling somewhere, and I went on Yelp to go look for a restaurant, and I was like, fine, the rest, you know, looks good. They got a couple stars, but I want to go to their website. And the restaurant didn't have a website. And to me, that really said a lot about the commitment level that this restaurant has about their business. And I'm like, what are they hiding? And so when somebody goes to do a Google search, or they try to, you know, find kids yoga in your neighborhood, if you're not online, right? If you don't have a website with your stuff programmed in there, nobody's going to be able to find you. Your website, it can be considered your online resume. And I just want to really encourage you, Laura, and all of you, to know that it doesn't have to be some high-end, fancy, super expensive website where you're going to go and spend a lot of money and, you know, have to, or spend a lot of money, or even have to, you know, build it yourself. There are ways to do this really, really, really simply. And you can also ask somebody to help you and maybe even do some trade or some bartering, right? And there's many creative ways you could do that. But I just really want to say that your website could be a web page, which includes your name, your schedule, a brief bio, a photograph of yourself, your schedule, and your contact information. So super, super, super simple, but really important. And I know that actually a lot of the women in the Biz of Kids Yoga community, they have taken action on this like immediately, whether they asked a friend to help them, or they just, you know, took a huge leap and tried building it themselves, and they had a lot of success. So it is something that you will want to get involved in. And then, you know, blogging is also something that we go deep into. But just knowing that the more ways that you have yourself out there and online, the more opportunity you're going to have to grow yourself. Facebook is great. That's another non-negotiable, but certainly a website and even a blog that you post in maybe even once a month is really a wonderful way to share yourself. Okay, so we've got a little bit more time. Let's see. Carrie says, how do I ensure my success? I love this question, by the way, Carrie. How do I ensure my success as a kids yoga teacher without stepping on the toes of or outright competing with other kids yoga teachers that may work in my area? All right, so this is lovely. I love this question. And I'm curious, Carrie, have you been to the National Kids Yoga Conference? Because I think that was probably the first time where our community actually congregated together and there was like this total collaboration culture. And that is something that I have really built into my business practices, and I really teach about that. It's about collaboration, not competition. And if you think about, you know, when you're shopping for a car and like, you know, you'll see like a half a dozen car companies are right next to each other, or, you know, all the fast food restaurants are right next to each other. It's because there's really a fit for each person, right? And so I'm going to be drawn to a specific car over another company, and then you're going to be drawn to a specific car over another one. So it's actually your good news. And this is, we go more into this in the online course, is about how to really separate yourself and really make yourself authentic so people are attracted to you, right? And to having a niche so that people who resonate with the skill set that you have, we're going to come to you. And then those who go to the other people resonate more with the other kids yoga teachers. So I really encourage you to look at this as, what if it's not your competition? What if you're not necessarily stepping on their toes, but what if that's your community? And what if that's your key to actually getting to know somebody else and collaborating with them on what's working and what's not working, or sending people to each other's classes, or subbing for each other, right? So what if it was actually a supportive relationship versus a competitive relationship? So that's my quick answer to a big question. I'm really passionate about collaboration. In fact, there's nothing that I do alone anymore. I don't see other people's businesses as competitive, because I know that the right people are going to be drawn and attracted to my business and to my classes, and then the people who are a right fit for other people's businesses will go to them, and that feels really good to me. There's enough to go around. Okay, thank you so much, Carrie, also for being so honest and real about that question. Like I said, I love it. I love it. It's really good. Feel free to send me a message about that. Okay, Maves, yeah, she says, looking for suggestions regarding space. Do others rent out space at established studios or a local gym? And yes, I think it's totally doable for you to go and rent out a space. And you have two options. You can rent the space for a flat fee, you know, maybe it's $10, $15, $20, $25, depending upon where you live. Or you can do what's called a percentage split, where you would actually give us a percentage of your revenue generated to the studio or the gym, wherever you are holding your classes. So it's really, you know, it's up to you, whatever you prefer. Typically when you rent, you're in charge of doing everything. You're in charge of bringing in the kids, in charge of doing all the registration. When you do a percentage split, you get more support from the gym maybe, or from the studio. So you know, it depends which way you'd like to go. I personally like to work with other people, so I like to do the percentage split. So if we get $100 that comes in, and I give the host studio or the gym 25%, then they're going to get $25 and I'll get $75. Whereas if I'm doing all of the registration and the marketing myself, and then we only get, you know, $50 comes in, and then I have to give $25 away, then I only made $25. So you hear the difference? Okay, let me know what you decide. Okay, I love this question. Maureen says, how do you push yourself to get started in a place that really doesn't have kids yoga? Okay, here's the deal. Don't push, right? Really good. So what we want to do is, if we have an idea of a place where we want to teach kids yoga, it's really important to look at, is this actually a market for us? Like, is this really, really a good place for our classes? Because, you know, that's why a lot of yoga studios, a lot of adult yoga studios who offer kids classes don't really thrive, because they're either senior citizens taking the classes, or they're older people, and they don't have like that young, or they're actually younger people. So you know, if you want to go to an adult yoga studio and offer your classes, you're going to want to make sure that clientele has children, or at least if there's children in that community. The other thing is, like, look at where kids hang out, you know, community centers, libraries, schools, Girl Scout troops, you know, so going to places where there are kids will definitely be a good, easier way to get in. So not pushing, okay? Let's see. Okay. Tracy asks, how should my idea be presented in order to inform parents and school officials about the benefits of yoga? Go and do a demo class. Do a demo class, offer your time, offer your services, let them see and experience you. And then always leave them with something behind that has things in writing, so the benefits, right? So that they could see it in writing with your contact information, and then follow up, okay? Quick answer, but those are basically definitely some things that you'll want to make sure that you do. And again, that's something, you know, all these are things, everything that you guys are asking about is we go deep, deep, deep into it, the Biz of Kids Yoga. All right, Michelle asks, quick question. She says, parents in or parents out? Meaning parents participate in the class, parents out. You know, again, the parents are our customers. And so I highly recommend that you allow the parents to watch the class, especially the first one, because they're going to see what they're doing and they're going to be the ones who are talking about it to their friends, which is what you want, right? That you want them to become your marketing angels. Now, they don't have to come for every class. After they see a class or maybe two, I would encourage them to probably go on their way. If the child is like, I want my mom to stay, you know, I don't have an issue with it. If behavior stuff starts to show up, then you might want to handle that. But for the most part, I think it's great to have the parents observing so that they can see what's going on. But again, over long term, probably not. Okay? All right, Michelle, let me know how that goes for you. And another, okay, let's see. Susan asks, this is hypothetical right now, but I have more requests for classes than I can handle. Yay for you, Susan. That's awesome. How do I pay teachers who work for me? The teacher would teach 1 or 2 classes a week for my children's yoga company. Awesome. And I'll say that this is actually a way that I started to grow my business when I couldn't take on all the classes. You know, at first I was teaching 25 classes a week, but it wasn't sustainable. And so I needed to have other teachers. And so here's the deal. You want to make sure that this teacher is getting paid a rate that is really going to be rewarding for them, and it's going to be inspiring and motivating for them. And so I really encourage you to find out what, and ask them, just say, what is the rate that you need to be paid? But most important, you need to make sure that you are getting a piece of the puzzle as well, because it's your contract. They're working under your name brand. You made the connection probably with the school or the studio or whoever it is. They found you and asked you to send a teacher. You're probably covering them under your insurance, right? So you have a responsibility to them to support them as a teacher. So you definitely need to make sure that you specifically are getting a piece of that puzzle, as well as compensating the teacher. And again, for me to tell you how much to pay them, you know, without knowing a little bit more details about your business, it's tricky for me to say, but I do want you to know that yes, absolutely, it's a great way to go, and I encourage you to go that route and to consider that's a really wonderful way to start to grow your business and your brand. All right, so there's a lot more questions, but I see that we are almost up at our time, and I just want to say again, thank you so much for your questions and for taking the time to consider what's important to you, and to reaching out to me and to joining together in our community, but even if it's virtual and you can't see each other, but knowing that there are other kids yoga teachers here watching and absorbing this juicy content. And so again, I really encourage you to register for the Biz of Kids Yoga.com. It's an 8-week course that starts next Thursday at 10 a.m. and at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's only 9 slots in each group. And again, we go way deeper into marketing, into finances, into online products, mindset, being remarkable, everything that you guys have had questions about, we go in there. And the best part, like I said, is the community. It's having other people, a buddy, a whole other online community of people who you can ask your immediate questions to. All right, so I want to wrap up by choosing one lucky, I'm going to start with 1, but here we go. Okay. Ooh, I'm a little bit nervous and excited. Who's gonna win? Oh my goodness! Shannon Coyne from Saudi Arabia. Yay, Shannon. I am so excited this worked out for you, and super excited. I will be sending you a message. I'm going to do another one just because I'm feeling generous, and I love you guys. And all right, here we go. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Mary McGuire. Awesome. You had the amazing question that you are on your own. So how cool is that? So get your questions answered. So amazing. Thank you all so much. I'll be reaching out to you all to invite you again to join the Business of Kids Yoga. If you didn't win, I highly recommend that you jump in, invest in yourself, get the support that you need to go where you want to go. There's light inside of me. There's light inside of you, and together we are one. Namaste. Thank you so much for spending your time with me tonight. Mwah.